evening, everyone, and welcome to the Cosmic Starseed Academy. These are the weekly sessions, the Friday sessions, called What's Really Going On Now? ? And today's date is the 10th of April 2026, and it is 7:21 p.m. here in Ireland. Today feels very important, very special, very significant. There's a lot of aspects that are lining up to do with Ireland, to do with Atlantis, the 3D and the 5D merging and moving forward. There are situations that are very serious here in Ireland that are getting more serious by the hour, to do with fuel and protests, food shortages. So it's really coming home now, everything that I've been saying since 2019 regarding food shortages, regarding fuel shortages, regarding blackouts, regarding recently I did a post. I had a premonition in dream time of no flights anywhere internationally. And I didn't release that information lightly. That is pretty serious shit. And premonitions that I'm having and have had since I was a child. And that one I had about 3 or 4 months ago, where I had a premonition that there were no flights internationally anywhere. And that, and given the current situation of certain countries at war with each other, and flights and fuel, and that seems to be very much on the cards. There are very much there are few food shortages coming, without question. There are fuel shortages, there are blackouts to come, there are serious situations. So I really urge everyone now to go and stock up on food as much as you possibly can. And this is not to put fear into you, this is to help you prepare for what most likely is on the cards, for what most likely is to come. And food, water, essential items, candles, batteries. It's time now to really do that. So yeah, I really urge everyone to do that. I myself am in Ireland, and I have a very deep connection to Ireland. This is where my mum's side of ancestors were from. I've many past lives in Ireland, and very deep connection to Ireland. Also, I have a very deep connection to Atlantis, and had at least one lifetime in Atlantis. And I've been shown very clearly that Atlantis was part of Ireland, or Ireland was part of Atlantis, back when Atlantis was in existence on our planet. And Atlantis was actually the whole Earth, but there were specific areas or places or cities that were very prominent, like capital cities within Atlantis, that were very prominent, with very high energy, that were very well populated. And Ireland was definitely one of those areas, as was Florida, or part of Florida. Bimini was also reported, I've also been told, as being part of Atlantis. And the times we're in now, it's very connected to Atlantis and those places where Atlantis had a very prominent existence or population, such as Ireland and Florida and Bimini. So, and it's parallel timeline. So I find it almost impossible to separate the 3D information I get from the 5D information I get and see and experience and premonitions and all of that. So I know that some people are either awake and aware and conscious with the 5D and higher dimensional information, or information that is of a higher dimension to do with Atlantis and many other different subjects. And then you've got people that are awake and aware in a different way, where they are aware of what's happening on Earth, such as the fuel protests and shortages and the government, what is the word? Corruption, and how the government are not interested in the people of the country, whether that's in Ireland or whatever country it is. So before we really begin and get to it, Sheila, do you have any questions?
Not at the moment, I don't think.
Okay. So I'm thinking that it would be really nice for me and Sheila to do a drumming session. I don't know how long it'll be, but I think that would be lovely. So I will leave my camera on. I will leave my camera on, and Sheila is going to have hers off. And I'm sure the sound will pick up. You may not hear my drum, but you will most likely hear Sheila's drum, which is great. So Sheila, whenever you're ready, I will follow your lead in the drumming.
Can't hear yours. Can't hear yours. I can't hear yours. I can't hear your drum. I couldn't hear your drum.
Okay.
Could you hear my drum?
I could hear yours, darling. Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't hear yours.
Okay.
So
That's
I'll have to find out from my friend what she does. Um,
yes.
I'll have to find out from her because I'm sure you have to do something to adjust the sound on your side. I don't know why. It's logically you would expect to be able to hear it, wouldn't you?
Yes. But it's okay that we heard yours.
Okay.
I'm just going to pause there. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We just took a short coffee break there, and I still have my coffee here. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Sheila for drumming. When she does the drumming, I really feel that I really feel that she brings in some very powerful, positive, loving energies. And I really feel that when she drums, she's really connecting to her guides and also her own loved ones in spirit. And I really feel that energy. I really feel that she helps to empower, to bring an energy of empowerment into the group when she drums. So thank you, Sheila, for doing that. Okay, guys. So I'm going to pick up where I left off on some of the information that I was sharing just now. Things are about to get real um, in many different places, in many different countries, in many different areas. Things are really about to get real, and the shit is about to hit the fan. And Ireland is, there's so much I have to say about Ireland. I'm actually just about to launch an a podcast just on what's happening in Ireland. So that will be should be up and running over the next week, because there is so much that is going to be happening on in Ireland and that's on the cards for Ireland, which includes fuel shortages, food shortages, blackouts, um, water shortages. So please stock up on your food. And even if you're not in Ireland, if you're in the UK or America, please stock up on food. Things are really going to get serious now. And I've been saying this for a while. I've been saying that there will be food shortages, there will be blackouts, there will be water shortages, there will be all of that. So please, please, please stock up on your food, on your water, on your batteries, candles, all of those types of things. Because this is not some conspiracy theory or fake premonition. The shit is really on our doorstep now. And I've been saying for a while that every system on Earth is going to be dissolving, crumbling, falling away, burning up. And it's happening now. And the fuel shortages and the is going to affect food, is going to affect transportation and the ability for people and companies to deliver to shops. I saw a post earlier today about Tesco's in Dublin where there was no fresh fruit or vegetables. Not sure which shop it was in Dublin, but it was a Tesco in Dublin today. And today's date is the 10th of April, 2026. There are protesters in Ireland that are not allowing fuel in, which I see as a positive thing, because people are protesting about the taxes on the fuel and so the fuel's not getting in at the moment. There are more problems with different situations to come down the line regarding fuel, where there will be shortages of fuel for different reasons. But so food is not going to be able to get in. Medications are not going to be able to get to the pharmacies. And that was something Sheila brought up when we were talking on the break. So things are really getting quite serious. I've also been saying for a while, and they've been channeling for a while, start growing your own food. If you haven't done that already, start doing that now. Do whatever you grow, whatever you can, wherever you can, in whatever you can. Get resourceful. Not all of us, including myself, have areas of land that we can grow on. I am very lucky. I have 2 small greenhouses that I am able to grow some things here. I don't have land that I can dig and grow stuff, vegetables or fruit, but I'm very lucky, and I'm going to also be, getting more resourceful myself and asking my landlord, is it possible? Is it possible that I can grow something over there in that corner that you're not using? I'm very lucky that I have a good relationship with my landlord. But if I didn't have that, I would be looking at areas outside. I would be looking at areas, plants that I could grow up the wall or layer up, I'd be looking at getting more greenhouses. I'd be looking at everything I possibly can. And I've always been very resourceful. So I'm lucky that I have that aspect of within my personality. With regards to medication and pharmacy, Sheila was mentioning something really important. I don't know if you want to repeat that, Sheila, or if you want me to do it.
You do it, Soma.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Sheila. So there's a technique that Sheila was reminding me of earlier. And the technique is that, and you can do this with anything, not just medication, although medication is a very good reason to do it. So you can close your eyes and visualize that if you don't have medicine at some time in the future, you can visualize that medicine in front of you. You can visualize taking it, and you can talk your body to your body. You can visualize that you're getting the benefits of that medication without the negative side effects of the medicine, because most medicines sold in big pharma or chemists do have side effects. Some of them are even death. So I probably won't be able to put this up on YouTube now I've said that. I'm not very good at censoring myself, thank God. But that is a technique that you can do and you can do that with anything. You can do it with medication or herbs or anything that you're needing to benefit your body. It could even be a crystal. And of course, you wouldn't absorb the crystal, but you would hold the crystal in your hand or visualize that you're holding the crystal in your hand and absorbing the energy of the crystal as if it is in your hand. And you can do that with anything. Remember, we are manifestors. And we can manifest anything. And we've manifested a lot over the last couple of years since 2019. We've also manifested everything, but we've also manifested a lot of the negative situations that we're in. But there is a positive to that, because the negative is igniting us into transition and ascension. So we're being ignited because of the negative situations on our planet at the moment. We're being ignited we're being forced to step into ascension and to evolve, which is also to do with the crystalline human body, which we are evolving into. And we need to get creative now. We need to get resourceful. there are some bad times ahead for people. Food shortages, lack of medication, all of that stuff. So, it's really not about fear. It's about preparing. That I used to be in a relationship with a Marine when I was living in the UK years ago, when I was in my late 20s. And he was a Royal Marine. And he used to have a saying, or they used to have a saying in the Marines. Prior preparation prevents a piss poor performance. So it's time to prepare, guys. Enough with this conspiracy theories about and the perceiving things as being woo-woo, especially with the food shortages, because you will not be saying that when you're hungry. So, and this is not to put fear into people. This is to get people to prepare for what is on our doorstep. And things are getting really serious now. So enough with the conspiracy theories, especially to do with food shortages and essential items. Enough with that. Any questions before I go into a channeling? Hi, Emily.
Hi, Soma. Hi, Sheila.
Hi, Emily.
Soma, are you getting any reading on how long this scarcity will last?
I am not, but I think it would be wise to. I think I'm not, but I just get as much as you possibly can now, and get growing. Whatever you can, even if you can only grow one potato or one onion, that will suffice, if it really comes to it. And if it really, and I've heard different times being mentioned. And I think they've said 3 weeks before in a channeling, because I never really remember the channelings in full. But I think that I do remember them saying, thank you, I do remember them saying 3 weeks should be, that might not be an end period, but 3 weeks will give you enough time, or the majority of us, enough time to look at other methods of preparing. Perhaps there's a forest near us, or a garden, or a garden center, or a space or an area where we can get planting within that 3 weeks, should we need to. Or and if it really comes to it, if it comes to a kind of a more serious situation, I will be looking at hunting, and gathering my own source of food. And that's actually something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to learn how to hunt with using the methods and the techniques and the teachings of the Native Americans. Now, that really is not something that is really done in Ireland or the UK. It's more acceptable in America, or Native America, or those areas, and places like Alaska, for example, and more North America. So, but if it comes to it, I will, happily be doing that. So, with the time periods, I've heard the Pleiadians say through me in the channeling, 3 weeks. but then I've heard other people say 3 months. So I'm not sure. Just do whatever you can. A minimum of a week. I would say a minimum of 3 weeks. A minimum of 3 weeks. And because
Okay.
that will give you time to look at other resources or avenues should things get very bad.
Okay, thank you, Soma.
Okay. So I'm going to do a channeling.
Can I make a comment? Can I make a comment before you start?
Please do.
Yes, about water. Because if we hear we're going to have a water shortage, I think it's a really good idea. If you have a bath, to fill your bath up with water, and any buckets, pails, any containers you've got. Because if we have a situation where we can't flush our toilets, it's really dreadful. So it's a really good idea to store as much water as you can. Maybe drinking water in one room and bathroom water in another. So I think that's really important as well.
Yes, it is. And also, if it really came to it that we didn't have water here to flush the toilet, I wouldn't be using the toilet. I would be going outside.
But we can't do that where we live. You might have countryside. I couldn't do it here. It would become quite offensive. I suppose you can dig a hole. That's what Girl Guides do at camp, isn't it? They dig a big hole.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've also seen recent videos of, and it's not something I would ever do. I don't think, but it kind of repels me. And I know there are benefits to it, but it's not for me. But I have seen recent videos of people drinking their own urine, and I know that there are reports of it containing a lot of benefits health wise, but it's not something I'd ever be interested in doing unless I was going to die. It's not something I would. Yeah, no, thank you. So yeah, and that's meant to help for if you're dehydrated. That's meant to help, apparently. But that's more of a serious situation going on there. So, so here we are with what's really going on now. There's a much bigger picture as well, which is probably what they're wanting to say this evening regarding Ireland, regarding Atlantis, regarding the people of Ireland who carry and this is reported, and it's not just reported by me, but the people of Ireland carry a very sacred DNA that is not found anywhere else on Earth. So there was a video I shared recently into the group. I sent it to Dennis as well. So if you're listening and you want to, I'll try to see if I can find that video and dig it out and resend it to everyone on Substack and in the Facebook group for subscribers to these Cosmic Starseed Academy sessions. I'll see if I can dig it out and find it and repost it because it was really important. Okay. I'm going to start channeling. I'm going to go into the channeling. So I'll become quiet for a few moments. Good evening. Time now. It's time now. There is an uprising on your planet of light, of warrior spirit, of Lyran energy, of Arcturian energy, of Andromedan energy. There's been a reinforcements, reactivations, re-engaging, reconnecting with not just with starseeds and light workers on your planet, but also for us and our brothers and sisters, be they Lyrans, Arcturians, Andromedans, Syrians, and many others. We are gathering, rejoining forces. Everything is expanding, including us and our energy, reigniting, readjusting, reconnecting. And we've been saying much of this for some time through Soma and many others. And now is an important time, is an understatement on your planet. We never wish to put fear into people, into their minds, but we do feel it essential to share information of what is occurring on your planet. Many of you have been mocked for your words, whether you are speaking them from us or not. Now is time to prepare. Immediately take action. To do with food, resources, and everything that Soma was saying just now. Things are critical. You are at a critical, pivotal time in our history. Take action. Foraging is something else that you can do. Ireland has had famine before and will again. And Soma was reluctant to say our words. Now would be a good time for questions.
Thinking about my pets and if there's a food shortage, how to handle that. Their feeding. It's I mean, I suppose I could just buy a ton of canned food, but will they naturally resort to, well,
Of course.
the cats can go out and hunt, I suppose, small rodents and birds, but I don't know what doggy, I don't know, I can't let Augie out in this neighborhood. So that would be a special challenge, I think.
It would. And it is time to get resourceful should that come.
I guess I don't know what resourcefulness looks like when it comes to alternative dog food. You know, it's not like we can have hunting weapons in our apartments here. It's interesting.
Well, if it comes to it, are you going to, let us ask you a question. If it comes to it, and you need to feed you or your animals, are you, and the times are ahead in the future, and they are abnormal, they are extreme, where you are facing food shortages, not for just for yourself or your animals, and you are not alone. Everyone around you is experiencing the same thing. Are you going to follow those rules? You do not need so-called weapons to hunt. There are many different ways that you can hunt. You can lure something to you, such as birds.
There are many farms in my area. Many farms. I suppose I would start there. You know, they will be producing food all summer long. And those that are growing animals will produce food in the winter as well.
That is a good place to start. It is about becoming resourceful or more resourceful, because you are all resourceful, whether you believe that or not, whether you understand that or not. You are all resourceful. Most of you have homes. Most of you have food in your cupboards, whether it be from the supermarket. But it is time to start being more self-empowered. It is time, thank you, to start coming away from relying on supermarkets or chemists for medication or anything that lays outside of yourself, anything that you possibly can control. Become more resilient, become more self-reliant. Of course, you are not instantly overnight going to become large producers of anything. The majority of you, there may be some that will, but the vast majority of you are not millionaires and do not have access to large funds. That is the reality on your planet. What is occurring now is very much to do with the downfall of all systems on Earth that have been run by negative ET energies, reptilian beings. That is what you are seeing. And we've been saying that for some time. And perhaps we've kept it too simple, because what that actually looks like is not pretty. And there is devastation within that, because you cannot have the negative reptilian alien beings losing control without devastation. You cannot have that. They will not allow that to happen. They do not operate that way. They do not leave peacefully. They do not leave quietly. We want to remind you that love wins and that you do have the upper hand, and that the light workers, the light hats, the white hats are in charge at this time now. And it's the 10th of April, 2026. And right now, the white hats are in charge. Irrespective of what you're being shown on the mainstream media, especially with Trump and all of that situation. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
May I ask another question? I had heard some time ago that the White Hats had recovered the negatives, houses full or bunkers full of food that they had been storing underground. That they had recovered all of that and they had intended to use it for, humanity. Do you know anything about this?
Well, thank you. And thank you for bearing with us. We're showing Soma an image of what you're asking about and describing. And we're showing her an image, a very clear image of food being moved from large areas into a changing of hands and being moved into other large areas. Thank you, that are owned by the white hats or good people, which is the same thing, kind of the same thing. Not all good people are white hats, but all white hats are good people. We would also add to that there is a thank you. What we're showing Soma is new information to her. We haven't said this before, but it's relevant to your question, because what we're showing her is that Native Americans will be given a large proportion of this food should they need it. But this food, and we can confirm what you're asking, this food has changed hands. And it is being stored should it be needed to be given to people. There is an uprising on your planet. An evolutionary period where you are becoming more self-empowered, more creative, more manifesting. You are creating your own reality, and you are stepping into a higher 5D energy of evolution, which is Ascension, which includes the crystalline human body. We've said that already many times, and we've said it already this evening, but we like to remind you, because we understand that you do not including Soma, that you do not get things the first time. And we always include Soma, generally, but there are things that she has to learn as well. And this is one of them, because she most definitely does not get things the first time. Which is why, one of the reasons why she likes to do things to the extreme. In order to really get things, she has to, or chooses to rather, do things in the extreme. Many of you are like that. We will close there for this evening. And again, we will remind you that love wins. So although there are difficult times ahead, there are challenging times ahead, we also want to remind you and Soma that, and we feel that this is important. And Soma also feels that this is important. She feels that sometimes, because of a conversation she had today, she feels that sometimes we have glossed over our words and not fully explained the devastation or the food shortages to come. She feels that we've glossed over them sometimes by simply saying all systems are crumbling, burning up, and falling away. Those systems that have been running your planet since you were invaded and before the downfall of Atlantis by negative reptilian beings. The systems cannot change or burn away or fall down without devastation. And that looks like food shortages. It looks like water shortages. It looks like medication shortages. It looks like all of that and more. Because there are also most certainly changes in and around the earth to do with weather, to do with land movement, to do with water movement. We are speaking of earthquakes and tsunamis and the such like. And we do not wish to put fear into you, but we do want you to prepare. Things are escalating at a rapid pace now. Prepare yourselves for the worst and hope for the best. Do not sit back and think to yourselves, those that are listening to this in the future or now, including Soma, do not sit back and think to yourselves, that's not going to happen here. Or I'll be okay. Or that is nonsense. Because look where you are now. In Ireland and in different parts of the world. Things are happening. Things have speeded up. Things that are seemingly out of your control, that affect you and your daily lives. So we urge you to stock up. And we will pause there for this evening. We love you. And we look forward to We look forward to the great awakening of humanity now. You are in such great change. You cannot compare it to anything else in your past history on your planet. This is an exceptional time that you are in. We love you. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We were just chatting there amongst ourselves, and I'd like to remind everyone that if you would like to join these groups, we have them on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Wednesday and Friday are paid for Substack subscribers, which is around €7 a month, and then the Saturday and Sunday are free. So you can come and subscribe on my Substack, Soma ARah, and also on my Cosmic Starseed Academy page on my website, somaarah.love. And if you'd like to get a reading with me, I still do those. And check out my website. I love you guys, and I shall see you all soon.